Good morning, folks. It's Ryan with Grind Knife Sharpening. I'm going to do a little bit of a setup video for your new Tradesman Edge Apex. Now, this machine that I have here is a little bit different, but the setup process should be pretty much the same. Just half of what you would be doing on your new Apex. So let's open up our box here and see what we've got. There's going to be lots of packaging. Keep the machine safe. I'm doing this out in my mobile truck, so I apologize for the lights and the noise and the mess. So here we have, it looks like our support bar assembly. So we'll set that over here. Also, forgive me that I'm using a head-mounted camera, and with that is some depth perception issues. So bear with me as we kind of work through getting through some of the packaging material. Lots of styrofoam, lots of things keeping. This is going to be our drive wheel. We'll open that in a bit. All right, what else we got for goodies? Some more paper. We've got a belt over wheel attachment. We'll unwrap that in a bit. We're going to have some styrofoam. Alright, we got some more. Let's see, power control box. A few of these components are going to look a little bit different because this is a prototype machine that'll be out sometime 2025, I suppose. There it is. Wow, that's pretty. And so we're going to peel this guy out of here and see exactly what we've got. Alright, we got a power control box. So a few differences from the Apex versus this machine are the Apex is a variable speed DC motor versus this is their stropping machine, which is like half of an Apex. So you'll see we have motor spindle and shaft on this side, nothing on this side. So this is going to be a one wheel machine, and so we're going to kind of work on getting it assembled. What the steps are for that. Throw my sunglasses on the ground, that's alright. So we're going to work through all of that today. So just taking a quick look here, we've got our guides for our support bar. This is the hub that mounts our belt over attachment. All of our power controls are going to be housed in this unit because we have an AC variable speed motor that allows us to get down nice and slow. It'll also give us a little extra power if we need it. This here is just a Mylar spacer to allow that belt over attachment to slide well. So I guess we can start with that. These come really nicely packaged. A little bit of a pain to get into. Let's see if we can't do this without cutting myself. saran wrap out of here. I'm sorry the camera bounces around a little bit, but I figured what better way to take you guys along for the ride than working through it from the same perspective as me. So we came with belt over wheel attachment, platen already installed with a graphite backer to reduce friction. That's fantastic. This is your tension adjust, your tracking wheel. So your hardware should come pre-installed on the machine for this wheel. Back this up a little bit, take a closer look. There's these 6 screws. And we're going to do this in real time, so you guys get to work through this with me. These screws will give you a whole lot of adjustment options. So I know some folks like to have a very firm locking belt over wheel attachment because you're going to use it in one place all of the time. I don't use mine that way. I move my belt over wheel arm all the time, and so I'm going to show you some different ways of setting up and tuning this so that you can get whatever performance you are looking for out of your machine. So again, the setup should be near identical. The only difference really is that if you got a dual belt over wheel and a dual wheel machine, that you would do all of these steps twice. So we got all of our screws. My fingers will keep working with me. And oddly enough, one thing that I get all the time that people don't make sense is try to put it on this way, it'll go on, but your drive wheel doesn't line up with your wheel. And so make sure that that pulley there is facing outward. It's very important. Orientation for starting isn't super important, just somewhere where you can hold it because it'll flop around on you a little bit. So we're going to start. Whoa. Get that guy in there finger tight. All right, next. At the point where you get all 6 screws in, just a little tension from all 6 screws is enough to make it so that you can move it all over the place. Even there with 3, we're starting to get to where it's not flopping around on its own anymore. And once you get 6, you can lock these screws down and put it in a fixed position, you know, with a few pounds of pressure. Oh, there we go, we lost a washer. Alright, so there's that. We are getting there, folks. Last one. All right. So 6 screws, finger tight only, is enough that it almost supports itself. So if we go ahead and go into our little hardware kit here, grab this guy. If you saw that, just a little bit of a turn, just like that. I'm not giving these a lot of power, just a quarter turn past snug or so, and just that. Now we're actually pretty much locked in. See that? It's a struggle to move. You can move it, but it's a struggle. So that's actually too tight for my liking, so we're gonna actually back these off just a touch. This is like 32nd or 16th of a turn. Now we can go that way, use slack belt, we can go that way, grind on our platen, whatever you like. We're locked in pretty good at that spot. Give that guy just a little bit more. Should be firm. And we dropped a screwdriver. All right. So next we move on to our rail, our finishing rail. This is our slide for our sponge tray. We'll cover that. Here we got our rail. I haven't seen this rail for this machine yet. I expect that it's near identical, just a little shorter. Now, one thing I always mention when I'm helping people with setup of these machines, your machine may vary just a little bit. Cutter Master, Tradesman, one thing that they're known for is constant innovation, and so they're always working and making their machines better. They do become more and more standardized as time goes on. But that being said, if there's an improvement to be made, they'll make it, which means by the time you see this video, your machine may be modified or improved. And if I have to make adjustments over the years, I'll try and keep up with that to the best of my ability so that you guys can continue to see precisely how these things work and make it as easy as we can for you to take your machine and get it up and running. Honestly, to me, unwrapping everything, more difficult than actually getting the machine going. But that's an indication that it was packaged well. Alright, almost there. So we have a few pieces and parts. We got an assembled support bar that I think will go this way. We have some guide rods, and so those are going to be our measurements for our depths. Easy enough. They're going to slide into these slots in the frame of the machine. But before we do that, we are going to go ahead and get them attached. So this one, you want these numbers right side up and facing inside the machine, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. So first thing, your hardware again is mounted in the machine already. So let's see if those are finger loose. We can just pop those out. There's one. And any of you that know me, losing hardware is like a superpower of mine. So we're going to see if we can get through this without losing any screws or bolts or hopefully anything. That one's pretty snug. We're going to need the tool. Allen keys, all the hardware needed to work on your machine is included. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we're going to make sure we're upright, facing the inside. That one goes on this side. That one goes on this side. Oops. Helps to orientate things in the right direction before you start trying to thread your screws in. Alright, so this, those holes will line up. Right there. Alright, once those are started, lock those in. Okay. So this process is identical to the Apex, to the other machine. The only difference is that the support bar is significantly shorter. But this whole setup process is pretty much the same. Two screws. Oh, and see, I just went and did the thing I told you all not to do. Sorry about that, folks. Doing everything on camera just goofs up your workflow a little bit. Oh. They are printed on both sides. That's a new upgrade as well. Well, alright, we got that. Locked down. One more. Locked down. Alright. Now, the last thing is going to be in the instruction manual. It's going to be zeroing this to your wheels so that you can get an accurate measurement. So, we're going to line these up with that slot and that slot. Whoops. Told you I was good at that. Okay. Slides in there nice and easy. Take our thumb screws. This is how you lock your support bar in place. And we got a hole right there. Okay. We don't want to lock those down just yet because we can go through the zero procedure, which is we are going to back this up to zero. What you would do is once you have your wheel mounted, you're going to back these bars up to zero. You measure right on the front of the support guard right here. So we would go in to zero right there, and then you will adjust this bar that is still loose till it's touching the front of your drive wheel, and then once it's touching the front of your drive wheel, we lock it into place on the bottom here with these adjustment screws here. I'm still waiting for a bolt, a through bolt that threads into the end of the shaft, and to mount my wheel. But we'll cover that, you know, changing wheels and everything you need to do on another video. But this has been the basic setup of a Tradesman Edge Apex. Again, this is the prototype stropping machine. The Apex is the dual belt over wheel system. All of your processes are the same. You've still got your adjustable arms held on with 6 screws, variable speed, forward and reverse on the back. All of that is ready to go. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.